Good people, what's going on? Episode 60 of the Dome Podcast, man. Thank you for checking me out. You know what I'm saying? Over the last 59 episodes, over the last probably 2 years, man, just kind of in and out, man. But enjoying it, man. So salute to everyone who's subscribed to the Dome channel, everyone who follow me on Twitter, and things of that nature, man, who, I guess can appreciate some of my takes, man. So anyway, episode 60, we want to talk about albums that shocked you and you just didn't see it coming. You know what I'm saying? In a genre. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't believe this happened. Maybe expectations were high and it exceeded your expectations. Maybe there's no expectations at all. And then you heard this joint and you was like, wait a minute, dog. I swear I did not expect to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to start is like go back early, talk about some 80s, 90s, and then 2000s or what have you. So I want to start with the 80s and say, I remember being younger and hearing the show, you know what I'm saying, and Lottie Dottie with, Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh and, the Get Fresh crew and all of this stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought MC Ricky D was dope, you know what I'm saying? But when I heard Children's Story, I was like, okay, now this is something legendary, something special, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. Then I heard, I believe, Hey Young World. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, this dude, Slick Rick, this even crazier than the Get Fresh crew. You know what I'm saying? Like, this nuts. And so to hear the great adventures of Slick Rick, knowing, like, I want to say the Shockley brothers and also Slick Rick himself and a few others produced the album, a legendary album. Some could say that the great adventures of Slick Rick, I think on one of my top 25 greatest albums, I want to say I've had it, you do these lists and your list change every so many years or whatever. I've always had it, I think, ranked between 8 and 12, you know what I'm saying, of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. I've had the Great Adventures of Slick Rick ranked between 8 and 12 for most of the time I've ranked albums. So that's one for me that stands out in the 80s. Another one in the 80s that stand out is when I first heard Father Leader by Eric B. and Rakim. Because after hearing Paid in Full, you know what I'm saying, with Check Out My Melody on there, I Ain't No Joke, and Eric B. is president, you thinking it can't get any better than this, because most would say, you know what I'm saying, Rakim was the bridge between the old school, yes, yes, y'all, you know what I'm saying, Kool Moe Dee, Melle Mel, all of that stuff, to the new age, with Rakim, of course, and who I'm talking about, and KRS, Kane, and G-Rap, and all of them contribute to that bridge, of course, but people look at him as that Miles Davis to that bridge. So hearing Paid in Full, some have Paid in Full as one of the greatest albums of all time in hip-hop, and I've seen it number one on some lists. I've seen it all in people top 10, you know what I'm saying, especially people from my era. But to come back with Follow the Leader, you know what I'm saying, and that's, for some people, surpassed Paid in Full. Now, lyrically, Rakim was better, you know what I'm saying, on Follow the Leader than Paid in Full. Paid in Full did help change the game, but Follow the Leader up the lyrics. I think the production is crazy. I want to say Rakim did some production on it. Lost Professor, I think, did some production. If he didn't do production on Follow the Leader, I think Lost Professor might did something on Let the Rhythm Hit Him. Nevertheless, a lot of people back then, including myself at the time, junior high school, was thinking, I thought Eric B produced all the songs. I didn't find out till 20 years after that Rakim made more beats for Eric B and Rakim than Eric B did, you know what I'm saying? So, and Lost Professor as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that hearing Follow the Leader, seeing the video for Follow the Leader was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it was more gangster, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can just see the progression, man, and Rakim, you know what I'm saying? So that was another surprise. I think hearing Fear of a Black Planet from Public Enemy is a great album. But I don't think anyone expected It Takes a Nation $1 million to come out and do what it did. You know what I'm saying? And It Takes a Nation $1 million, for professional reviewers, not just hip-hop heads, but professional reviewers from different publications over the last 30, 35 years or whatever, have ranked Public Enemy's It Takes a Nation is the greatest hip-hop album of all time. I've seen The Source, like 100th episode, they had It Takes a Nation of a Million ranked #1 as the greatest album. I think when the Rolling Stones did their 500 greatest albums across all genres, I want to say It Takes a Nation of Millions was ranked the highest rap album. I can't tell you the exact rank right now, but it was ranked the highest album of all time. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's just crazy within itself. Bomb Squad, shout out to Kill Apartment 5B. We was talking the other day about horns in hip hop, and we saluted Pete Rock and talked about different producers that did use horns. And Public Enemy, Bomb Squad was probably first on that level. You know what I'm saying? And we know what the Bomb Squad did at some point with Ice Cube. Since going to the 90s real quick, let's look at like 1990. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube leads NWA. You know what I'm saying? And, they throwing shots at Cube or whatever. But nevertheless, did anybody think, I mean, we all thought Ice Cube was dope at NWA. But we also thought Ren was dope. We thought Easy had character. We know Drake was a producer, but he still had a dope voice. DOC obviously was who he was. You know what I'm saying? But did anybody think that America's Most Wanted was going to be that great? Like, Gangsta's Fairy Tale, man. Oh, my God, man. Like, I remember getting the album and being amazed by it. I'm like, okay, I see why Ice Cube went solo. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't want to sign that contract, cool. And I know a lot of people had him dead to the water. You know what I'm saying? But one of the biggest shocks is that Ice Cube came out the cut, dropped the Fire Mike album for the Source magazine in 90 when, Source obviously is New York, East Coast publication or whatever the case may be. I know it didn't start in New York, but you know what I mean. He came out of the bat with 5 mics. You know what I'm saying? And then the surprise again from Cube is to follow that up with the death certificate. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the death certificate, when you think the album's going off, no Vaseline comes on and he destroys NWA. You know what I'm saying? And then end up having Kill It Will and all that. But so yeah, Ice Cube having America's Most Wanted shocked a lot of fans who couldn't believe that he dropped the album like that. But then to do that back to back, you know what I'm saying, was something totally incredible from 90 to 91. Another thing I would say would be albums that shocked you. When I first heard Left My Wallet in El Segundo, I said, these new dudes Tribe Called Quest, kind of quirky, but I like them. Remind me, Jungle Bros, De La Soul, the whole thing like that. Because 3 Feet High Rising came out before People Instinctive Travels. Then, of course, I heard Can I Kick It? I'm like, yeah, these dudes dope. You know what I'm saying? Then I heard Bonita. And I was like, okay. They solidified, man. Q-Tip had a smooth voice. It was dope. Then getting the album, I thought the album was dope. It did get 5 mics in the Source. I thought it was a dope album. I immediately really became a real big Tribe fan. Run DMC was my favorite group growing up. And then it was EPMD. And then it was Tribe. But it wasn't Tribe yet. But I did love Footprints, which is my second favorite Tribe song now. My favorite Tribe song is Lyrics to Go. My second favorite song is Footprints, and Footprints is on People Instinctive Travels. So I'm enjoying Tribe. I'm like, yo, it's a dope group. I like Q-Tip a lot, man. What else? And because Phife hadn't really done much yet, maybe a verse or two on the first album. But then the Low End Theory came. Me loving Tribe. So Check the Rhyme comes out, and everybody falls in love with Check the Rhyme, obviously. Then Jazz come out, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been Jazz or Scenario. Nevertheless, when I got the album and that first song, Excursions, back in the days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had a pager, you can find the abstract. Listen to the hip hop. My pops used to say it reminded him of bebop. I said, well, Daddy, don't things go in cycles, whatever. And it was just like, wow. And then you go into like the album was just stellar. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if people expected that type of jump. You know what I'm saying? But that jump from Peoples to the Low End Theory, it's like, okay, it can't get any better than that. So then what happened was in 93, the Midnight Marauders dropped. You know what I'm saying? My favorite rap album, my favorite song was on the album. And people debate to this day, 30 years later, which album is better between the Low End Theory and the Low End Theory and Midnight Marauders. Other ones real quick, 80s, 90s, that kind of shocked me. Hearing Criminal Minded and then Scott LaRock passing away, You know what I'm saying? But then KRS coming back with By All Means Necessary, with I'm Still Number One, My Philosophy, Illegal Business. I've always said I thought By All Means was better than Criminal Mind, and Criminal Mind was a monster. You know what I'm saying? Poetry and The Bridge Is Over, and stuff like that. So of course 9mm, dang, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, but I thought By All Means was more polished and was better. You know what I'm saying? So that was another time where I saw I was shocked. You know what I'm saying? How good By All Means was, because sometimes you think about somebody go through a tragedy, you're like, man, Scott died this after their first album. You know what I'm saying? And people can get off focus. KRS One could have been like, man, we got to avenge Scott death or just not be, in a mind frame to make great music. But he took that, you know what I'm saying, and that changed his life into having been the front runner for self-destruction, and then he ended up doing the Temple of Hip Hop and did have like Heal, I think, Human Education Against Lies, I think, and stuff like that. So he started doing all this, started doing going around speaking, you know what I'm saying, at colleges and things like that. And he did that sound like dedication and dedicated to Scott LaRock, you know what I'm saying? So he came out with a better album, and then BDP, just the trajectory went crazy, you know what I'm saying? So that was a shock as well, you know what I'm saying, late 80s, you know what I'm saying? So now think about another shock. I want to talk about a shock. Man, LL Cool J did it twice. Because, when he did that Walking with a Panther and stuff like that, people was like, man, what Radio was done, Big and Duck was done, man, Walking with a Panther, man. LL fell off, man. The cover looked whack, man. I ain't feeling that. So to come back with Mama Said Knock You Out, you know what I'm saying, and Around the Way Girl, you know what I'm saying, the booming system, the pink cookies or whatever, whatever the case. I don't think it's pink cookies, but you can fact check me on that. But it's just like he came back with Mama Said Knock You Out, man, and it was a monster album. You got the black and white video with him boxing, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Mama Said Knock You Out. He came back. And then, having like other 14 shots at the dome. At some point, people like, LL's on a roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people really didn't love 14 shots to the dome, even though I like that How I'm Coming. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was kind of dope. I think 6 Minutes of Pleasure is on 14 shots to the dome. Somebody can fact check me. But then he come back with Mr. Smith. So then you have the Hey Lover and doing and all that stuff for the clubs. You have the song Hip Hop, dedicated to hip hop. He's naming everyone in there, man. You know what I'm saying? He just look what he did, you know what I'm saying, with that album, you know what I'm saying? So, and then after that, at some point, was it the Show soundtrack during that time too, when they had Papa Lovett on there? You know what I'm saying? Like, L came back, the comeback kid, man. But yeah, I think the shock was people heard 14 shots to the dome. I think people thought LL was dead. You know what I'm saying? I think people said, you know what? This new album coming out in 95 is 10 years after his debut with radio. He's giving us a lot of classics, a lot of hits and stuff like that, whatever. I think LL is done. But when he did Mr. Smith, you end up having club bangers forever. People play doing it in the club right now. People play lounging in the club right now. I mean, he did it. He did it. You know what I'm saying? So you did have those surprises. 90s again, another surprise. Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. For a lot of you guys who are younger, you see Jay-Z's ascension. You see Jay-Z as one of the biggest rappers in history, or maybe the biggest rapper in history. But it started somewhere. Me being in North Carolina, I went to school at UNC Greensboro and A&T. And Ski Beast is from Greensboro. Grew up with my man, with my frat brother. You know what I'm saying? And Jay was around. He was used to be down with Original Flavor. You know what I'm saying? Can I Get Open and all that? So, he used to be up and down North Carolina and up and down the East Coast, stuff like that. We knew about Jay. You know what I'm saying? But he used to rap fast and he was different. When people heard In My Lifetime, I heard it on a mix CD in college. I'm like, that's the same Jay. That's the dude, Jay-Z. And he rapped slower. And what's the meaning of life? I mean, it was dope. He still had a little fast flow a little bit, but he slowed it down on some verses. And then you heard Dead Presidents. And then it's like, okay, wait a minute now. The Nas sample, dude was spitting. And I was like, okay, he on one now. He might end up being one of the ones around here, but you don't know. So then I think a couple of mixtapes you hear, like I want to say Politics as Usual and Can I Live, maybe? And of course the Journal Another Professor soundtrack, Ain't No Nigga. And then when Reasonable Doubt drops and you hearing songs like The Evils, Bring It On, you know what I'm saying, Regrets. You know, it's monumental, man. I went to a spot called School Kids and picked it up, you know what I'm saying, summer 96, and it exceeded expectations. Totally shocked everybody on campus because I put it in, and they're like, who is this? I'm like, this Jay-Z from, he used to hang with these Original Flavor. And one of my man's like, yeah, you know, Ski left Greensboro, went up to New York, et cetera, et cetera. And Ski ended up being, of course, the person who produced Camp Lo. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Camp Lo, Uptown Saturday Night is also will be a shock because, I mean, of course, we hear Lucchini, he thinks it's a dope song, but you might have thought it was going to be a one-hit wonder. Because, you know, think about it now. When I first heard Lucchini, I mean, I thought it was incredible, but I didn't know what else to expect after that. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, their album ended up being a shock too. You know what I'm saying? So for me, you know what I'm saying? So Jay, believe it or not, was a shock. Think about this. Ready to Die was a big shock for people because you heard Biggie on a lot of niggas or whatever with Heavy D and all that. You heard him on the Super Cat joint, I think, or whatever. Then you heard Juicy. And it's like, okay, Juicy was very dope. But did you really expect Ready to Die? Did you? It ain't like Illmatic. People expected Illmatic to be great because people heard Nas on Live at the Barbecue, Back to the Grill Again. Then you heard Halftime, and you're like, man, this kid is special. So to me personally, hearing Illmatic, I wasn't blown away in terms of I didn't expect it. After I heard him a couple of times, I kind of expected to sound like that. I didn't expect Ready to Die to sound like that. I didn't expect American Most Wanted to sound like that. Greatest Adventures of Slick Rick to sound like that. I think Follow the Leader exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? So those are other ones. Now let's get into the late 90s now. When you first heard about DMX, and you heard him on the Locks and Mace and all these different people leading up to Stop Being Greedy and all that. So did you expect It's Dark and Hell is Hot? Because I didn't. You know, I liked what I heard. I thought he was dope. I thought his energy was right. His presence on the mic was real strong. You know what I'm saying? So I expected something good. I'm like, okay, all these songs. Now I did get was it a Clue mixtape? Hit the joint Crime Story, and I was like, oh, okay, that doom 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 doom. And I was like, okay, well he hard now. You know what I'm saying? But you don't know if it's just gonna be like if it's gonna really pop off. You know what I'm saying? So to hear It's Dark and Hell is Hot, you know what I'm saying? A game changer was just incredible. You know, it's the same way when I heard You Ain't the Killer and Off the Book with Big Pun on it. You Ain't the Killer was on Soul and Hole soundtrack, which is a great soundtrack. But then they hear Capital Punishment in 98. I go to the record store, School Kids Again, because I'm in Greensboro. I put the joint on and that song Beware come on. What you thought Pun shit was sweet, now you can't sleep. Oh my God, just Capital Punishment blew me away. It's one of the best lyrical performances I've ever heard in hip hop to this day. It's 2024. I heard it in 1998, and to this day, what Pun did on Capital Punishment is one of the best lyrical performances of all time. Okay, I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Kanye West, Did You Expect? College Dropout. 50 Cent blew the whole rap game away. You know what I'm saying? When you heard that. 36 Chambers, for example, after you heard Protect Your Neck, did you expect 36 Chambers to sound like that? You know what I'm saying? Those are just some, but let me veer off for a minute. When I think about music in general, because this episode 60 is about albums that shocked you in every genre. Okay. Who thought when you was a kid, people my age and older, when we heard Off the Wall with Michael Jackson, first of all, it's like, okay, it's a coming of age album. It's still soulful and disco. He's not with the Jackson 5 anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, it blew people away. Rock With You, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know the songs, you know what I'm saying? And so you heard Off the Wall, and it sold like 20 million records. You know what I'm saying? And Michael Jackson became the guy, but not all the way quite yet. Who expected Thriller? Because Thriller is what made him the GOAT, basically, in terms of pop artists. Thriller took Michael Jackson to, I mean, it's the highest selling album, you know, of all time, you know, during that time, and maybe still. But Thriller, when they did the video for Thriller, it was like a world premiere, like a movie. And did anybody expect Thriller, though? I mean, Michael Jackson Off the Wall was still soulful a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You know, we go back and listen to Off the Wall, track 1 to like 9 or whatever, it's still kind of soulful with a little disco flavor with it. Thriller was totally pop. Also, let me don't get me wrong, Human Nature's on there and stuff like that. I mean, he still had some dope joints that was slow and all that stuff like that. But overall, the pop records that was on Thriller changed music. And I don't think anyone expected that. You know what I'm saying? Same way with Marvin Gaye dropping What's Going On, releasing What's Going On in the early 70s, I think like 72, whatever. This is my favorite album. It's the greatest album to me of all time. He had done a lot of dope music, but the depth of What's Going On, it's like Vietnam War, man. He talking about the war. He's talking about poverty. He's talking about police brutality. He's talking about, just a struggle of Black America on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And Rolling Stones finally rated the number one. They do a top 100 every so many years albums, and What's Going On is always somewhere in the top 10. But a few years ago, they made it the number one album of all time, and I was like, wow, I really couldn't believe that. That was dope to me with a publication like that, because I mean, I'm thinking they're gonna pick the Beatles or something like that again, because they always have 3 or 4 Beatles albums in the top 10. It's just crazy to me, but I know how great the Beatles were. But you know what I mean? They should have 3 albums in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? But I think that everyone at that time was shocked that Marvin Gaye released an album like that, you know what I'm saying? And it has stood the test of time. It still sounds immaculate to this day in 2024, you know what I'm saying, over 50 years later. You know what I'm saying? But I think that shocked the world. Now, let's go up to the 90s a little bit. Bell Biv DeVoe, Poison, you know what I'm saying? Look, New Edition breaks off a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Johnny Gill came as a solo artist anyway. So, with him, Ralph doing the solo thing, Bobby Brown was doing his thing or whatever, nobody could have ever imagined Bell Biv and DeVoe, first of all, putting a group together, and second of all, having the success they have, that even when they tour to this day, and when they tour New Edition, when they break off and do their set, it's incredible. I saw them live before, you know what I'm saying? Ricky was slept on. You heard him on Can You Stand the Rain, and he hit his notes. You know what I'm saying? That was just more things to come. You think about When I See You Smile Again and I Do and all that. That's on the album Poison, man. So that's just crazy right there. When you think about Bell Biv DeVoe dropping an album like that, you know what I'm saying? It totally changed the game too. That hip hop R&B, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody was doing it like that. I mean, no, we had Mary J. Blige and other people, but nobody was doing it like Bell Biv DeVoe. They really changed the game and influenced a lot of people after them. You know what I'm saying? So that was really monumental when we heard that Bell Biv DeVoe album. Same way when Bobby Brown eventually he had So Loud before Don't Be Cruel. But when you heard My Prerogative, you was like, okay, he's arrived. And then you heard Rock With You. He arrived. You heard Ronnie. And then you get the album, you like, okay. You didn't expect that. It totally shocked people. Like, this is Bobby's trajectory. I think it sold like 9 million records. Same way with Al B. Sure. You heard Night and Day. You know what I'm saying? You was like, okay, the dude gonna pop off. Pretty boy and all that. He gonna pop off. But did you expect In Effect mode? You know what I'm saying? I don't think most people expect it In Effect mode. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. So it shocked people, man. And I know he was groomed and mentored by Quincy Jones. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is what it is. He ended up writing for people, doing a lot of stuff, I think, for Uptown and all that stuff like that, man. But that was another shocker, you know what I'm saying, to hear that. You know what I mean? Like, Boyz II Men first album. I think it shocked people. You know what I'm saying? Mary J. Blige, when she released My Life, afterwards the 411, you're like, yo, she's the queen of the hip-hop right now. It's a great album. I love Reminisce and ain't you see the thing? Oh, she had so many joints on there, man. Like, oh man, What's the 411 was incredible. But man, what they did on My Life can go up against, when you think about the 90s, it's potentially a top 3 or 4 greatest R&B albums of the 90s, and maybe top 10 greatest R&B album of all time. If someone said My Life was the best R&B album of the 90s, I wouldn't debate it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't debate it. Other shocks, the first time you heard Erykah Baduism. And I was blown away, man. I mean, I heard On and On. I thought it was a cute song, dope on the radio. I think Next Lifetime was a single or whatever. But when I heard the album in its entirety, and I got to that song Drama, every great artist has that song to me on that album where you like, you know what, they went somewhere else with it. You know what I'm saying? The song Drama on Baduism, it went there. You know, it's kind of like on Aquemini, the song Liberation. You're like, okay, Outkast dope. We love Southern Playlist. We love ATL. You know, we love Aquemini. But when I got the Liberation, I was like, okay, so y'all doing that. Y'all went that deep. You know what I'm saying? And sticking to the A real quick, hearing Soul Food by Goody Mob, hearing that Day After song, man, close to the end of the album, it's like they went somewhere spiritual on that one. And a lot of people don't go that deep. You know what I'm saying? So Goody Mob Soul Food, after hearing Cell Therapy and Soul Food, to hear that album, it totally blew me away. It totally shocked me, totally blew me away. I mean, I really couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Moving on up to more modern times too, and I'm gonna get back to some other genres. But when I heard Section 80 by K. Dot from Compton, I said, this kid is right. This Cushion Corinthians, this Reagan era, you know what I'm saying? High Power. I'm like, yeah, he on one. But when I heard Good Kid, Mad City, I said, okay, we got a West Coast Nas type. He's a storyteller. He's vivid. He got the spirit of Corrupt and Biggie and Nas, all these guys in him, man, what he did. And then you turn around with that To Pimp a Butterfly. I thought it was groundbreaking. But listening to that joint again recently, How Much a Dollar Costs, Complexion, Institutionalized, Mama, Hood Politics. Kendrick's a generational talent, man, that must be celebrated, man. And to do what he did on Good Kid, Mad City and on To Pimp a Butterfly is just absolutely incredible if you look at the layers of the other songs, man. What about Forever My Lady with Jodeci, man? Did that shock you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought Forever My Lady shocked me. I thought Sade's Love Deluxe. Because after hearing, like, you know what I'm saying, Diamond Light, Struggle and Pride and all that, I was like, man, it can't get no better than this. And then No Ordinary Love comes out. And I see the movie Indecent Proposal with Woody Harrelson, Demi Moore, who I loved back then, and Robert Redford. And, you know, to hear that album, Sade did it again. And I think that Love Deluxe might be Sade's greatest album. But to do that after those albums, same way Anita Baker did with Rapture. Rapture is my single favorite album by a female artist. But after having, I think, the songsters and all that stuff, it's a great album, great work by Anita Baker. But to do Rapture. And Rapture is one of those albums that every song is based like a single, just like Off the Wall and Thriller and stuff like that. There isn't a bad song on Rapture. I think she wrote some of that in high school. I think she said at one of her live concerts, she wrote Watch Your Step when she was in like high school. And when you listen to that song, you're like, how does a high school kid even think like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, man. Like, what's some other albums that shocked you, man? Like Private Eyes, Hall & Oates, I like that joint. What shocked you, man? Life After Death kind of shocked me. I mean, because Red Dot was so great, but to think that he had Life After Death, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the Clips first album shocked me because I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was dope. Oh, a big jump, obviously, people talked about recently was the jump from Juvenile Hell, Mobb Deep, to The Infamous. The Infamous, I know shocked everybody in New York because I know that people thought Juvenile Hell was okay. Yeah, with the peer pressure and stuff like hit from the back or something like that. But to hear Shook Ones, which is one of the hardest songs in rap history, to hear Shook Ones and then you hear Survival of the Fittest and all, then you hear the album, The Infamous, I know that shocked every damn body. Can't nobody tell me they wasn't blown away and shocked by The Infamous, man. I mean, there's no way you couldn't have been shocked by The Infamous. I mean, that's crazy, man. And the other ones, man, I think Lil' Kim first album, I was kind of shocked at how dope it was. I know they're a team, and I know Big did say Kim wrote something too, man, but the production and all that, I thought that was a shock. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, those are some of the ones that come to mind, you know what I'm saying, as far as like albums that shocked Maxwell, Urban Hang Suite. Well, it really shocked me, you know, hearing that album and then hearing Embryo, you know what I'm saying, what Maxwell did back to back but especially on Urban Hanks, I had never heard of him before. He kind of came out of nowhere and kind of blew me away with Urban Hanks Week, man. Like that album was absolutely something special. Now, I didn't name some of the big legendary guys. I sound like Marvin Gaye, you know what I'm saying? I didn't name Stevie Wonder, but obviously, you know, people like Stevie and Barry White and Isaac Hayes and all them, they had groundbreaking music, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if it would say you shocked you. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I named Marvin Gaye is because it was a different type of music that he made and it ended up being ranked as one of the best albums of all time on all these publications. So I would say that it shocked everybody in that regard. You know what I'm saying? Did Purple Rain shock you after hearing Prince discography leading up to that point? Because, I mean, 1999 was great. You know what I'm saying? So, but did Purple Rain really shock you? Did it take Prince to a whole new level where you didn't expect Purple Rain to be that great? You know what I'm saying? Maybe, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Like, did Mariah Carey first album shock you like that? I mean, there are some joints, man, out there that really put people on notice. You know what I'm saying? Did Marshall Mathers that LP shock you? Did Wu-Tang Forever shock you? I think that Only Been for Cuban Links shocked me. You know what I'm saying? Because I think I heard Incarcerated Scarfaces first. You know what I'm saying? And but to hear the album, first of all, what shocked me about Wu-Tang was in like a 2-year span, not even a 2-year span, you had Tikal, Liquid Swords, Only Been for Cuban Links, Iron Man, Return of 36 Chambers. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have that in less than 2 years, what RZA did, most of it was done sound like a lot of stuff was dropped in 1995. That shocked me to even have that much music. You know what I'm saying? That many great albums and great songs and that many beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is crazy. You know what I'm saying? The Doggy Style really shocked you. I mean, after hearing the Chronic, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you expect the Doggy Style to be that great, or maybe it's better than you could anticipate it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you think? You know what I'm saying? Like that. Any Drake album shock you guys? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to leave him out because he's one of the biggest stars in music now, and to not bring him up at all, I think might be doing a little disservice. So, I was kind of shocked when I heard So Far Gone, because I heard like Room for Improvement and the comeback season and all that stuff with the mixtapes, whatever. But So Far Gone is when I said, okay, this dude's gonna be a big star. You know what I'm saying? Because he got the singing, the rhyming, and all that stuff like that. So Far Gone kind of shocked me. I was like, you know, now Thank Me Later didn't end up being what I thought it was going to be. Well, Thank Me Later, Thank Me Now, whatever. But So Far Gone, I was kind of shocked. It was better than I anticipated it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? It was refreshing though. You know, so I thought it was refreshing. So the Fugees, when they dropped the score after Blunted on Reality, blew me away because the score has, you know, Wyclef is very talented, man. You know what I'm saying? And Lauren had the vibe and Proj played his part. So to have the score after Blunted on Reality was insane, was nuts. You know what I'm saying? Because I like vocab and all that stuff and nappy heads, and I thought they was cool. But to hear the score, damn, that shit was nuts, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's also one of the biggest jumps. You know what I'm saying? When I talk about Mobb Deep jump, you know what I'm saying? Tribe jump, you know what I'm saying? The Foodies jump. Those are huge leaps. You know what I'm saying? Those are probably some of the biggest jumps and shocks when you heard that follower. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's crazy, man. But yeah, man, these just a couple of thoughts, man. Like a couple of albums that kind of, you know what I'm saying, shocked me and put it on notice, man. Like that artist wasn't playing second time around, third time around, whatever the case may be. Illa Def Half-Life blew me away. The Roots, because I like Organics. I used to play Do You Want More all the time in college, and then I heard Clones, and I was like, oh man, hearing Clones, man, and then I heard the album. I remember buying Illa Def Half-Life in '96, man, and I fell in love with it, man. I fell in love with the album. It blew me away. It's to this day one of the greatest rap albums I've ever heard. Malik B and Black Thought was monsters on there, man. And the production was dope, man. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Brown Sugar by D'Angelo, you know what I'm saying, exceeded my expectations, man. That's another one. You know what I'm saying? I felt like kind of came out of nowhere. He took the word about Storm with that joint, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it was really like that. You know, it really was, man. As far as like back on the West Coast, well, Midwest, Scarface, man, kind of exceeded my expectations with the Fix. To be honest with you, I know he had a bunch of great albums before that, The Diary, you know, and Last of Dying Breed, and Mr. Scarface Back, etc. But man, when I heard the Fix, man, the way he blended the streets and his spirituality, man, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I love Last of Dying Breed, last song in my time, but then he came out with Heaven on there, man, and Someday. You know what I'm saying? I think Kelly Price sang the hook on that, man. Scarface blew me away, man, with the Fix, man. Like, what about songs that blew you away from artists, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you just love that song real quick before I go, man. And I talked about this on Twitter yesterday. Bone Thug, Everyday Thing, man, on the show soundtrack, man, blew me away. Tupac Pain, man, blew me away on Above the Rim. Earlier, I talked about Big Pun, man. You Ain't a Killer blew me away on the whole soundtrack. Obviously, the first time I heard Deep Cover blew me away, shocked me. I'm like, Dr. Dre doing this at the NWA? You know what I'm saying? Like that was fantastic. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick Lamar song Feel blew me away, man. Feel blew me away. J. Cole got a track, man, called The Good Son. I think it's The Good Son. And it has that Raekwon. I think is his name. Is it The Good Son or not? I can't remember, but he has this song, and it takes a piece of North Star from On the Cuban Links, and he rhymes over it. You know what I'm saying? He rhymes over the North Star from Cuban Links, man. The favorite son, the favorite child. Somebody can just. I'm going to put it in the comment section, man. I'm gonna find a video or something like that. Hopefully, they'll tag me, and I'm gonna do that, man. But yeah, man, appreciate you checking in, man. 36, 37 minutes. Don't want to hold you too long, man. You know what I'm saying? Blessings to you, man. Again, thanks for supporting the Dome on Twitter, the Dome Podcast, man. Blessings. Peace.